We actually interviewed a girl that was living here a few weeks ago, and now her camp is gone. I don't know if somebody stole her camp or tore it down, or she moved it further back. But you can see here, looks like somebody tore her camp. Looks like her bicycle got destroyed. What happened here? This is a girl that we interviewed not that long ago, remember? Well, her tent's gone. Her stuff's just, it's totally different. She's not here anymore. I don't know what happened to her, but we interviewed her a few weeks ago, and, well, it looks totally different now than when we were here. Well, she said she had been here for a while. She said she had been here for quite a while, and it looks like she's gone now. I don't know if it's because of the hurricane or what happened. But she did say she had been at this campsite for a really long time, and now her campsite is completely gone. I don't know if it's from fear or from, hopefully it had nothing to do with our interview. But you see somebody riding a bike through there in the woods. Okay, that's kind of weird. We'll see what's up. See somebody riding a bike through the woods over here. We were just here not that long ago. I don't know if it has to do with the hurricane or what. And that's what's crazy about homeless people is, you know, one moment they're somewhere, the next they're gone, and you know, you wonder if they're okay. Did somebody come help them? Are they gone for a good reason, or are they gone for a bad reason? Did my interview have anything to do with them having to move? It worries me because, you know, we're not trying to hurt people, but these lives out here are so, these people out here, they don't have any rights. They don't have any, they're at the mercy of other people, basically. And you wonder if our interview was a good thing and somebody came and helped her, or if our interview brought her problems. Very hard to tell. Did something bad happen to her? Did something good happen to her? Hard to tell. It worries you, really. All right, guys, so we are about 4 miles from Fort Myers here. We're in the North Fort Myers area now. Most of the homeless people that I've talked to have told me that their hurricane preparations are just to find an abandoned building if there's one around. So we're going to enter here into what's definitely going to be an area that's going to have homeless camps now. One of my subscribers told me about this area, and they told me that there's a huge amount of homeless encampments in this little spot here. But you can see there's definitely a trail, and there's this massive banyan tree here. Look at the size of this banyan tree. So according to my subscribers, they told me to come check this place out here in North Fort Myers, that it would have a lot of homeless camps. Now, you know, I haven't really explored too much of the woods here in North Fort Myers. I just know it's bad from previous experiences. Even the streets of Lee County in this part are dangerous. I would figure a homeless camp out here would just be horrendous. And I hear it's pretty elaborate and pretty big, and there's a lot of abandoned structures, so pretty intimidating just walking through here, actually. But I've known from past experience that places like this are usually going to have... Oh, here we are. Coming through. She's coming through. There's a concrete pad here. And these are the types of homeless camps you'll find out here. Lots of abandoned structures here, and in these structures you're gonna find a lot of homeless camps. So I don't think there's actually anybody here right now. It's very clean, so I'm gonna guess there's definitely somebody living here, but they're not here immediately right now. You can see that they have medicine bottles as usual. Typical crap you find in these homeless camps. You can see inside of this bottle is a white foamy substance that's liquid. I have no idea what it is or what the crap it could be, but clearly you can see a white foamy substance that's liquid. I don't know what it is. And on the other side it looks like you have albuterol packets, but interesting. They have a net to keep the flies down away from the garbage. Tiny little camp here. And they are using devices like this to catch water and filter it. You can see that this person here has a kind of a lid around to keep the garbage from going into their water bin. So they're obviously collecting water, and they sleep here. And well, this is it. This is just an improvised homeless camp, well kept together on a concrete slab, and they're keeping it pretty clean. Actually, it's not one of these destruction sites. It still smells pretty horrendous, but it's not the destruction we've seen in other places. And nonetheless, it looks like a pretty clean operation. They have a New York license plate here, ironically. New York license plate here. I'm gonna guess whoever's living in this camp is pretty smart and pretty agile to keep it hidden, keep it clean, and to have some pretty clever methods of survival with their water catching. I do not know what the white liquid is. Could be anything, really. Who knows what it could be, really? I mean, crap, I've never done anything illegal, so what the crap would I know? Okay, so here's a little trail. And it doesn't look too... It looks like it might be really a well-hidden entrance here. We'll find out. Which is usually associated with addiction. You can see they've put these woods here for a access point. Wow, this is crazy. Hello. All right, make my presence known. I don't want to sneak up on anybody and scare them. You can see there is somewhat of an effort to make a homeless camp here. That looks like it might be booby trapped right there. So it's possible that the site's booby trapped in a lot of ways. I already got impaled by a piece of stick coming in. Just coming through. Not sure if somebody's here or not. But you can see they've been dragging materials in here. A shoe at the entrance, it means stay out usually. Spray paint can, again, signs of addiction. People use that for huffing usually. Shopping carts, pillows, everything back here is wet. Looks like it got rained on recently. What a mess. Lee County, Florida, what a mess. It looks like there was a camp here and maybe somebody came through and ripped it all up, tore it apart. You can see there's some type of umbrella here. Parts of a tent there, so it looks like there was a tent here. Maybe law enforcement came in and knocked it down. I don't know what this contraption is. It might be some type of booby trap, but I'd be careful moving further into here. It does look like a booby trap spot in a lot of ways. But anyways, it's just you can see that with the last hurricane, these giant maluka plants fell down, and there's more camps in the back. I just don't know how we're gonna get back there. You got to kind of crawl in and out of these maluka plants, I guess, to get through here. You can see there's much more homeless camps back this way. If I could just manage to get my way through here. So what the crap do homeless people do for hurricanes? I guess they end up going into shelters. So now we're on a trail. Coming through. Coming through. Super important for you to announce yourself. If the person here has a warrant, gives them a chance to run. If they don't want to be seen, gives them a chance to run. Coming through, coming through. So yeah, I think it helps. Also, you don't startle people. You don't know if they're bathing. You don't know what they're doing. So it gives you a chance to announce your presence. Here's another spoon, right? And they're not using these spoons for eating. They're using these spoons in conjunction with needles. You can see there's a huge camp here, massive. And this camp has been torn down. This would have been almost a city back here, hidden in the woods, but possibly Lee County Sheriff's Office came through here. And they, with knives, destroy these camps. So you can see that they had ropes hanging all through here. So this would have been a massive homeless camp. This would have had dozens of people here. And what the sheriff's office comes and does with knives, they just tear all the stuff down and they destroy it. But you can see that this homeless camp at one time this would have been a huge homeless camp, and it would have been home to dozens of people. And they're using debris from the last hurricane as kind of structural walls, hanging ropes between it, putting up tarps. You can tell that the tarps were sliced up with a knife. You're seeing a lot of the usual things that we see in homeless camps. Nothing out of the ordinary here. We'll really study the site. It looks like there's nobody here right now, so it gives us a chance to study the site and understand what's going on here. But you can see big tarps. These tarps are really expensive. But this was like a little house here, actually. You can tell simply because the size of this thing. This was quite literally a house in the woods. So let's explore and see what we can find here. They have was clean last week. Sorry you missed it. That is hilarious right there. That's just hilarious, to be honest. Yeah, that right there is hilarious. Come on, you know it's hilarious. Classy. So you can see here that they even had a foundation with pallets. They were dragging in flooring. So this was an effort to make a compound back here in these woods. I mean, this wasn't a light, small effort. This was a compound here, quite literally. And let's look through this garbage and try to understand what exactly was going on in this compound. I know around us are probably dozens more camps like this. This whole area is full of homeless camps here, but there's no need to go inside of every last one of them. I think just from this one here, we can get a pretty good idea of what was going on in this camp by some of the things that are left behind. You see a lot of bicycle repair things, so they were working on bicycles. Toothpaste right there. You see lighters, possibly some hygiene. If I'm not mistaken, these are scent things, so they might have been trying to actually keep it smelling good at some point, possibly. It never fails. It never fails. It never fails. It never fails. All these homeless camps are gonna have needles, guys. It never fails. It really never fails. It's sad. But the vast majority of these homeless camps, if you look closely enough, you'll eventually find needles and paraphernalia, which is all around here. All types of paraphernalia on this site. All this is paraphernalia. In fact, if you just look here, you can see a needle right there. Okay, there's a needle right there. Here's one needle right there. And if you just look through this stuff, concealed in here, everywhere you look, there's going to be needles all through here. All this area is going to be filled with needles, guys. And that is unfortunately, you know, one of the leading causes of homelessness, whether homeless people want to admit it or not. A huge problem of homelessness, and it goes hand in hand with homelessness. And so many homeless people don't want to admit that this is part of their homeless problem. But we've discovered that about 80% of the homeless people we talk to will admit to being users, and you still have that small percentage that will lie about it. So unfortunately, if you use those substances, it can lead you here. And if you're here, well, then you're definitely more propense to be a user, which just goes to show that that stuff, whether it was there before homelessness or after homelessness, for a lot of people, it doesn't start until they become homeless. You can see a fishing line right here, guys, and this is what I talked about, these sites being booby-trapped. You can see there's a tripwire here with a fishing line, and these tripwires of fishing lines are many times going to have fishing hooks on them at eye level. So this is a booby-trapped site, which means we've seen all types of booby trapping in this site. This was a booby trap site, and many times they're going to have fishing line at eye level with fishing hooks. And you know, if you're just walking through these camps and you're not looking out for stuff like this, This is a tripwire, and this tripwire could set off anything. It could set off, you can see I'm pulling on it and it's going around that way, but a lot of times I've seen in homeless camps where they'll put these fishing lines that you can barely even see. It's the same color as the vegetation. You can see they even color match the vegetation here. And these trip lines, if you're not paying extraordinary attention, you could end up easily pulling a tripwire that has fishing lines and getting absolutely hurt. Here's a book bag, and we're just gonna, I want to see what if I can just move around it. I don't want to actually touch it, but you can see it's a book bag there, and there are stuff in it. We're not going to touch it, but this site being booby trapped, just moving through here is going to require absolute caution. There are more camps deeper into the woods here, guys, but I'm just giving you guys a preliminary elementary look at this camp. We're not going to dive deeper into it. I'm not wearing the proper gear today, and I really don't want to get any deeper into this mess. But you can see how these camps are filled with paraphernalia everywhere you look. They're booby trapped to ensure that anybody that's coming in here, including law enforcement or other homeless people trying to advance on their camp, could easily be injured or hurt. And everywhere you look, if you look carefully enough, are needles and other signs of paraphernalia. You can tell they're still using tarps to cover up some things, like this shoe here for some reason. But if you look carefully through here, you'll find lots of needles, lots of paraphernalia. So unfortunately, whether people want to admit it or not, this is where addiction brings you.